right, everybody, good morning. NorCal Sports Network morning game plan. Got you covered in the mornings and in the evenings. All Bay Area sports. Northern California, actually, sports. Get a little Kings talk in here at times. A little bit of Sharks talk, but mainly we got you covered with the Giants 49ers. And today we'll talk a little Warriors talk. Little bit of interesting stuff out there relating to the Golden State Warriors and one Steph Curry. Now, how do I look at all this stuff? Yeah, people talking about the Instagram and that he's removed the Warriors from Instagram, and he's got gold medalist, USA Olympic gold medalist in there. Look, and he's been doing stuff with LeBron and KD. Is there any talk or chatter about this and anything that's going to come of this? I wouldn't put any stock in it personally. I mean, these guys are having probably just fun, knowing that they're just having people probably losing sleep over it. But I'll say this. The Warriors, to compete, are going to need to add what appears to be another star, and they missed out on Lauri Markkanen with the Utah Jazz. Weren't able to get him. Weren't able to get Paul George. And I could see a day where if the Warriors aren't competing, that the only way to turn the franchise back around is to go out and get a star and make a big trade, or to get stars and rebuild. Steph's your number one piece. I've said this about the Giants in the past, that I thought the Giants should have used their best asset, Logan Webb, because they're years away from competing. Now, a little different class when you're talking Logan Webb and Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the franchise. He is the ticket draw. He is everything to the Golden State Warriors. But you got a guy like Joe Lacob that's serious about winning and wants to fill up that arena that he put a lot of money out. So I wouldn't put nothing past Joe Lacob of trying to get a LeBron. He tried to get him a couple years ago. So I don't know where this thing will go. KD, and it would be pretty cool to see KD and LeBron and Steph play one year together, just the fun of it. But would the Warriors do anything like that? I don't know. That would be the talk of the NBA, wouldn't it? Those three together, or two of the three. Any combination involving Steph and LeBron, or Steph and KD, would be tremendous. But I think we saw it in the Olympics. I think it was great. It was fun, but I don't think it's going anywhere in the NBA. I think Steph ends up most likely retiring as a Golden State Warrior, and who knows what LeBron's going to do. I mean, anything involving LeBron sounds like it'd have to be a package with Bronny Jr., right? I mean, it sounds like they're, literally attached at the hip, right? I mean, LeBron and Bronny Jr., the Lakers wasted a second-round draft pick just to get LeBron James Jr. or Bronny, and they brought him over. And, all intents and purposes, he's not going to have any impact in the near future in the NBA. He's not that big. It's like 6'2", hard to create his own shot. I don't think so. I think if there's anything to happen there with Steph Curry or LeBron James together, I think the Warriors would have to they'd have to take Bronny James' contract on, and hey, if the Warriors wanted Bronny James, they could have drafted him, right? Didn't the Warriors draft one pick ahead of the Lakers in the second round, if I'm not mistaken? I think the Warriors, I mean, that was a setup. Everybody was like, hey, nobody wanted him for one, but the Lakers. So, I mean, basically the Lakers are having to keep LeBron from leaving because LeBron had an option to keep him from leaving. They drafted Bronny and they gave him $8 million. Yeah. So to me, I don't see that really going anywhere. The Warriors are really going to need to do something else. So they're going to need to add another player. I don't know why, if the rumors are true, that they could have had Lauri Markkanen if they would have included Pods, Brandon Podziemski. I mean, Podziemski's a good player. I like him a lot, but who would I rather give up, Podziemski or Kuminga? I'm giving up Podziemski all day long. I want to keep Kuminga. I think Kuminga is going to explode as a player at some point. Just become a star in this league. He's very close, in my opinion, to becoming an all-star. I think he needs another year or two. And if they can refine, if the coaching staff can get him to refine a few things, the talent this kid has is unbelievable. If he can develop a really good shot, an outside shot where he's consistently, if he can get close to, from 3-point range, if he can hit 38% from three or better, this guy is going to be unstoppable because you come out, guard him with the three, he'll blow by you in a couple of dribbles. He'll slam it down. Kuminga is a freakish athlete, and he's only going to get better. So I would have definitely, if that was the hang up, that the Jazz wanted Podziemski in the deal and the Warriors were saying no, and it was Markkanen, Podziemski, and a couple of ones. I mean, I like Podziemski, but he's got a little bit of a hole in his game, in my opinion. He's very, very good ball player, and I'm a fan of his. But I think he can get better. He's going to be a very solid NBA player, no doubt about it. But if you want to get something great, you got to give up something, and I think he would have been the guy to give up. But that's just me. You guys might feel different about it, but that's my take on the Warriors. Let's get to a little bit of Giants baseball. All right. Giants baseball. As I turn and move my head, see them right over there? Right there. Still sitting in fourth place. Told you they would end up in fourth place this year. They're not going to get to third. This is a fourth place team. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're 5 games behind the Atlanta Braves in the loss column. Braves play tonight against the Phillies. Giants are idle. I guess the Braves play the Phillies here not too far from now. I think they start, let's see. Oh, no, it's a night game. Sorry. 4:08 our time. So they're, Giants have to hope that the Phillies beat the Braves. The Braves lose today. If not, Braves win. It's just one more potential loss that the Braves didn't get. The Braves basically have to lose an incredible amount of games. I mapped it out for you guys on the show last night and put it out on Twitter. The Braves did end up losing last night. So let me read my tweet, what I did put out. I said with the Giants being 65 and 64 and entering a very tough stretch of the season, their playoff hopes are very slim. The Braves going into last night had a 6-game lead in the loss column, but by losing, it was brought down to 5. With 33 games remaining, the Giants would have to go 20-13 just to finish at 85 and 77. And the Braves lost. They said the Braves would have to go 17 and 20 in their final 37 games. With the loss last night, Braves now need to go 17 and 19. And the Giants have to go, again, 20 and 13. How realistic is that? Not going to happen. I mean, let's just assume, even if the Braves went instead of 17 and 19 in their final or 36 games, what happens if they went 15 and 21? 15 and 21. Then the Giants just have to go 18 and 15. I don't even think the Giants will do that. I don't think the Giants are going to finish their final 33 games with only 3 coming against a pretty rotten team in the Marlins. The other 30 games, minus the last 3 games against Cardinals, are all against teams at 500 or above. And the Cardinals are only, 1 game under, maybe 2 games under 500 at the most? What is the St. Louis Cardinals record? I'll pull it up right here. St. Louis is 62 and 64. Yeah, 2 games under. So I don't see where this team, the Giants, make playoffs. I don't think they'll catch the Mets. The Mets are 5 over, 66 and 61 with a dramatic walk-off home run yesterday, beating the Baltimore Orioles 4-3. Jesse Winker, who the Mets picked up in a trade deadline deal. Giants could have probably gotten rid of Michael Conforto and got something back for Conforto. But Farhan, again, waits too long. Conforto, a Met favorite, fan favorite, played great there with the Mets. They hold on to him. Think about this, guys. Excuse me. Got some congestion been going on for a while in my chest here. Think about how bad the Giants are. And Farhan, let me tell you what a clown this guy is. Let me tell you what a clown Farhan Zaidi is, guys. You know what? Let me give the proper intro to Farhan Zaidi. May I? Let me find the entry for Farhan Zaidi. Do I have it anywhere? Did I remove that track? I may have. I don't have oh, here it is. Okay. Farhan Zaidi introduction. Here we go. There we go. Farhan the clown. He doesn't trade Michael Conforto, right? For the second half of the season. Look, you could have saved salary. You got rid of Jorge Soler. But you hang on to Michael Conforto, which you could have got. You're not going to get a great prospect, but you could have gotten rid of his salary if you're trying to trim salary. And you could have got a prospect, but you hang on to Michael Conforto and then you bench him. You platoon him. You don't even utilize him. So what good is Farhan? What are you getting out of Michael Conforto if you're going to platoon the guy? Look, you pinch hit for him. He's your as a cleanup guy. You just amaze me the way you do things. You think any free agents are going to want worth their, weight in gold? You think any good ball player that's a free agent is going to want to come to San Francisco under Farhan Zaidi and get treated the way he treats his players? There's just no way. These players talk. Sean Manaea could have opted in this year. He's pitching pretty good, but he wanted out because he wanted no more part of this crazy. What am I doing? Am I starting? Am I relieving? Ross Stripling got traded, but he wanted out. He was happy just to go to the Oakland A's. Jock Peterson, another guy, happy to get out, get to Arizona. Look, veteran players don't want to deal with this crap. And the Giants are a mess. And as long as Farhan Zaidi is president of baseball operations with the San Francisco Giants, get used to this. You're going to be a 500 team hanging around the 500 mark, straddling that 500 mark, 2 to 6 games below, 2 to a few games above. And then when you start playing a schedule that you start facing tough teams, you start losing. Look, the Giants have won 14 games this year against the Rockies, the White Sox, and the Marlins. They've got 65 wins. That's over 20% of their wins against 3 teams. And they play 29 other teams. So let's look at this math. 3 divided by 29 is, let's see, wait. Okay, so there is, hold on here. Let me do that again. Yeah. They're going to play 29 different teams. Now, again, they haven't played everybody yet. They haven't played the Brewers or the Mariners, which they're going to do on this road trip. They haven't played Kansas City and Baltimore, which they're going to do in September. I'm trying to think of their schedule. They got Kansas City, Baltimore. You know what? They got 4 teams that they haven't played yet. Let me take a look at this schedule real quick. Pull it up here on my phone. Okay. Baltimore, Kansas City. They played everybody else. That's it. So Seattle, Milwaukee, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Those 4 teams they haven't played. That means they've played 25 other teams. And of those 25 teams they've played, 20% of their wins have come against the 3 worst teams in baseball. And you can add 2 wins with the A's. So they've got 16 wins against 4 teams. 16 divided by 65. 24.5% of their win total has come against 4 teams. And they've already played 25 teams, guys. They only have 4 teams left that they haven't faced. So this Giants team, what that tells you is they're not going to finish at 500. It'll be a shock if the Giants finish at 500. I think they finish 77 to 78 wins. I think they lose 4 of 6 on this road trip that starts tomorrow, and possibly 5 of 6. Seattle just got swept by the LA Dodgers. They're coming home. They got the day off today too. Seattle's probably not going to make it. Their only chance, they're 7.5 out in the wild card. Okay. They're 7.5 out in the wild card, but they're only 5 behind Houston. I don't know what Seattle's schedule is, if they have any games left with Houston. I could check that. Let me just check that, because that's their only hope. The Mariners need to win, and win now. They're in the same situation as the San Francisco Giants. And their September schedule, their remaining schedule, they've got the Giants here and then Tampa, and they are done. No, I take that back. They have 3 games left on their schedule with Houston, the final week of the season. They do not play Houston anymore at home. But those 3 games could be critical. So the Seattle Mariners have to win right now. Wouldn't shock me one bit if the Mariners swept the Giants this weekend. You do have Blake Snell going Saturday, but the way the Giants play, they don't score. So Blake Snell pitches 7 innings and gives up no runs or a run, and they don't even win the ball game. What was that the last time they faced the Braves, the Monday night game against Chris Sale? Braves won in 10, 1-0. Great outing by Blake Snell, but all for naught. So Blake Snell, he's going to keep you in the game, and he gives you a great shot to win, but you got to score runs. Giants don't score runs. So I think the Giants lose 2 or 3 this weekend. Would not shock me if they get swept. I think they go 2-4. I think they lose both series to Milwaukee and the Mariners. And again, it wouldn't shock me if they only win 1 on this road trip. 1-5. I think it's 2-4, 1-5 on this trip. And you know what? Maybe a 1-5 trip would be just what the Bay Area needs to finally put this team to bed. Put it to rest. Get the pressure put on Farhan Zaidi from the Bay Area media members. Look, I've been trying to drive this bus to get rid of Farhan for 2 years now. And we got others on the bus. You know, we got guys like Joe Shasky, Bonta Hill. Maybe they're driving the bus and I'm just assisting them. But I don't know how long they've been saying it, but I've been saying it for a couple of years. They have a much louder voice. They obviously have a much bigger platform than I do, and they can say it with a lot more sophistication than I can. But I've had it. I mean, you cannot continue to go on with this clown, Farhan Zaidi. Look, nothing against the man personally. Probably good man, you know. I have no ill will toward any of these people. I just can't handle the San Francisco Giants, the team that I grew up. The team that I grew up with from 7 years old. I'm 63, just turned 63 a few days ago. Since I was 7, I've been following this team. And I put so much into this team for 56 years. I mean, my teen years, my goodness, I was just obsessed with the Giants. And to watch this team go, you know, I watched this team in the late 60s from the first division title I ever saw, 1971, I was 10. To wait all the way till 1987 for just another playoff. 16 years. From 71 to 87. 16 years. My entire teenage years into my 20s, I had to watch and didn't see a World Series until 89. And to watch this team kind of go back to that. And in between, watch what the Giants did when Peter McGowan bought the club. And the first move Peter McGowan did was go out and sign Barry Bonds to, at that time, the richest contract in baseball history. I think it was 7 years, like 42, 43 million. People were like, whoa. Now guys are making over 40 million a year. So I watched all this, And then I saw the lean years in the 90s after they had a great year in 93 and missed the playoffs by one game and won 103 games. And it's like, how robbed were the Giants that year? No wild card. Then they institute the wild card just simply because of what the Giants did and the Braves that year. And then 94, we have the strike after Matt Williams hits 43 homers the first half of the season. And at the time, it was like, he's got a shot to beat Babe Ruth, a legitimate shot. I think he would have done it. And then we go to, some rough years, 95, 96. And then the Giants make a bold move and hire Brian Sabean to become the general manager and Ned Colletti, the assistant general manager. And I watched 97, and then they trade Matt Williams, and it's like everybody's upset. And, the famous quote of Brian Sabean, not an idiot. And he wasn't an idiot. He was a genius. The guy knew what he was doing, had a plan. Then he trades for JT Snow, and he gets Jeff Kent and Julian Tavares, and I'm trying to remember someone else was in that deal. And then he later makes some other deals with Cleveland. He gets Mike Jackson, and he gets Bill Swift and from Seattle, and they just start adding pieces. And the 97, Bill Swift was earlier. I'm sorry. Bill Swift was the 93 season. But the deals that the Giants made in 97. And in 97, they win the division. 98, they tie and they have a one game to see who's going to be the wild card with the Cubs. But they're there. It was meaningful baseball. 99, they fall a little short to the Diamondbacks. 2000, they win the division the first year at then Pac Bell Park. 01, we got Barry's home run record. 02, a World Series. And then 03, 100-win season again with Felipe Alou as the manager after Dusty Baker leaves. And then 04, good year. But then the lean years, 05 through 08, 4 years. But they had a plan. They had another plan. And part of that plan was rebooting. And no one better than to have Sabes drafting guys, who's a former scout with the New York Yankees. Former scout, drafted Derek Jeter. Guy knew talent. And we do all this from 05, 06, 07, 08. Matt Cain is drafted, I think, around 02, 03, whatever, but he comes up. They draft Tim Lincecum. They draft Mad Bum. They draft Buster. They get Belt. They get Crawford. They get Pablo, international signing. They start rebuilding. They get the bullpen, Sergio Romo. And all of a sudden, this team is, you can see it growing together. Each year, getting a little better. 07, the final year of Barry Bonds. They bring in Bruce Bochy in 07. And the plan is in place. And the plan works perfectly. 08, 09, Timmy's Cy Young. 09, it's a winning season. They win 86 games. 2010, they come out of nowhere. Late push. Win the division over the Padres the final day of the season. And it launches them on a run to their first World Series title for San Francisco ever in San Francisco. 2011, Buster gets hurt. Blown out at the plate. Makes the infamous trade of Zach Wheeler. Gets traded to the Mets for Carlos Beltran. And people are like, you know what? They were going for it, though. It didn't turn out to be a great move looking back. But you know what? I think I'd do it again. He was going for it. They were reigning World Series champs. They were in the hunt. And he made an effort to try to repeat. Buster comes back 2012, becomes not only the MVP, he's comeback player of the year and most valuable player, leading the Giants again to a second World Series in 3 years. 2 in 3 years, people. 2013, the only real down year for the Giants in this run of from 2010 to 16. Come back in 14. We all know the story. Mad Bum, an unbelievable World Series for the ages. Something that we'll probably never see again. Unbelievable. The grit, the grind, and the Giants win their third World Series in 5 years. A dynasty is born, guys. 60%. The Giants win the World Series 60% of the time in 5 years, 3 out of 5. Think about that. 60%. Farhan hasn't even been able to get to 50%, but once. Oh, I guess he got 81 and 81 with a final stretch in the 22 season. But we're looking at the 5th out of 6 years here under Farhan Zaidi at 500 or below. And this guy still has a job. And the Giants ownership wants to settle for this. This is unbelievable, people. Farhan has to go, and he has to go now. You cannot continue with this. If the Giants, what I would do if I was one of the Giants owners, to make a statement, a bold statement, if the Giants lose 5 of 6 on this road trip, I'd fire him right then. I'd just say, you know what? We're done. We're going in another direction. I would fire Farhan Zaidi. You know what? I would just do it. And then let Melvin run the rest of the year. See what he does. See if the team runs differently. See if Melvin, it would be great to see if all of a sudden Melvin stops platooning and starts using young guys and starts playing guys that he really wants to play. That would be a treat. So I kind of almost hope it just ends this next 6 games because I'm tired of just dragging this inevitable on. We know the Giants aren't making the playoffs. Just lose 5 of 6, please. And then fire Farhan and give Melvin the final 27 games and see what he does. Then we'll know for sure who's running the club. If Melvin continues to run the club the way it's been operated, then we'll know, hey, well, maybe it's Melvin making all these decisions. But if the final 27 games, if they lose 5 of 6 and they fire him and Melvin's given a chance to run the club the way he wants to and it's run completely different, then we know exactly who was making out the lineups. So that's all I got to say today, guys. It's, I thought we'd get into a little 49er talk here, but we got Niners, Raiders tomorrow. And no post-game show tonight, guys. Giants obviously off, but we'll be back tomorrow with morning game plan. And then we'll have the pregame show of the Giants Mariners. That's a 7:10 start time Friday night. We'll come on at 6:45 Friday night for the pregame. But if you're new here to NorCal Sports Network, please hit that like and subscribe button, would you? Means a lot to the channel, helps the channel grow. So hit that like and subscribe. Gets the algorithms of YouTube pushing the channel out more. And that would mean a lot. But I just covered all here. San Francisco Giants, NorCal Sports Network. you know what? I just noticed I don't have my little flag up there in the corner. Let's see if I can put that up there, guys. I've been running without that. There we go. NorCal Sports Network podcast. Guys, again, we don't just cover San Francisco Giants baseball. As you heard today, we're all over the Warriors. We'll be doing Niners talk. Should be doing a post-game show maybe tomorrow night, Giants or Raiders, Niners, with Larry Krueger if we go on. But one other thing I want to mention to you guys is we have coming up next Thursday night. You're not going to want to miss this. Next Thursday night, the 29th. Oops, hold on. I didn't. Yeah, we got a drum roll for that. Let's get back to our music here. Hold on here. That happened there. We hit the wrong button. There we go. All right. So next Thursday night, 7 p.m. West Coast time, be doing an interview with former NFL player and head coach. We'll just tease it for a while, but we've got a NFL former player, head coach, and I'll just give you a hint as a player coach. Just think Super Bowl, okay? We're not talking an unknown head coach here. So just think Super Bowl. All right? Guys, thanks for joining NorCal Sports Network. Love having you guys on the show. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hiroku says we want winners. That's right. Giants are a winning franchise, the all-time winningest franchise in the history of Major League Baseball. Think about this, guys. All-time winningest franchise in the history of Major League Baseball, and you have a clown by the name of Farhan Zaidi running the ship. That is unacceptable. He needs to go, period. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 10:15, morning game plan, and then tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a great Thursday.